Welcome to Starwatch Now, your front row seat to all the hottest gossip, drama, and breaking news from the world of entertainment. If it's trending, shocking, or star-studded, we're covering it. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Imagine a song that doesn't just entertain you, but takes you back through 80 years of history, honoring heroes, and igniting the pride of an entire generation. Yes, Wong Yibo's brand new release, Remember This Moment, is not just music. It's an anthem. And today, we'll uncover why this song is taking the world by storm. Welcome to Starwatch Now. If you love powerful stories behind the biggest stars in Asia, you're in the right place. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss a moment. On September 1st, 2025, Wang Yibo released his long-awaited new single Remember This Moment, and within hours it began to ripple through online platforms across Asia and beyond. But what makes this release so striking is not simply its popularity, but the emotional weight it carries. Listeners were quick to describe the experience as powerful, unforgettable, and deeply moving. In a world where pop songs often fade after a few weeks, this track arrived like a wave, reminding people that music can still serve as a vessel for memory, pride, and hope. The song was unveiled during the commemoration of the 80th anniversary of the victory in the War of Resistance against Japanese aggression and the World Anti-Fascist War. Its timing gave it an added layer of gravity. For many, hearing Yibo's voice deliver lines about sacrifice and courage felt like stepping into a shared history, one that is both painful and inspiring. Fans across China, Korea, Japan, and Europe have expressed how the song transcends entertainment. It becomes a collective moment of remembrance. What sets this release apart is its ability to blend heritage with contemporary sound. By fusing the echoes of traditional war anthems with the pulse of modern pop, Wong Eba has created something both familiar and new. Younger listeners, who may never have connected deeply with stories of war and resilience, now find themselves drawn into a narrative through melody. Older audiences, meanwhile, hear the echoes of history reframed with fresh energy. Ultimately, Remember This Moment is not just shaking the charts. It is reshaping the way audiences experience music. It proves that a pop song can resonate far beyond numbers, stirring hearts and binding generations together through the universal language of song. Wang Yibo's Remember This Moment stands as far more than a new entry into his musical catalog. It is a living tribute that reaches beyond the boundaries of music itself. Released to mark the 80th anniversary of the victory in the War of Resistance against Japanese aggression and the World Anti-Fascist War, the song becomes a vessel carrying history, memory, and the weight of countless sacrifices. Its verses do not merely entertain but awaken something profoundly human, reminding listeners that the freedoms and peace enjoyed today were born from lives once given in struggle. When Eba sings of youth watering peace in the smoke of gunfire, the imagery rises above melody, transforming into a solemn vow that past courage will not be forgotten. This tribute resonates across generations. For the young, the song opens a door into history, giving abstract stories of the past a human pulse that feels immediate and real. For older audiences, it stirs memories, echoing familiar themes of sacrifice while casting them in a new, contemporary light. The universality of the message creates a bond between age groups, bridging time through shared emotion. In every line, listeners can sense both mourning and pride. Mourning for lives lost, and pride for the spirit that endured. What deepens the impact of this song is the sincerity in Yibo's delivery. His voice carries neither theatrical dramatization nor empty performance. Instead, it conveys reverence, as though he is not only singing but also bowing his head before those who came before him. The result is music that functions as a memorial, a piece of art that resonates as a national and global reminder. Remember This Moment becomes a collective act of remembrance, turning a pop release into a lasting testament of gratitude and respect. What makes Wang Yibo's Remember This Moment remarkable is not only the historical weight it carries, but the way it bridges the past and the present through its musical form. At its core, the song is rooted in the tradition of wartime anthems, echoes of voices that once rose above rivers and battlefields to inspire a nation. Songs like the Yellow River Cantata carried generations through hardship, shaping collective identity with sound that was both stirring and unyielding. Yibo's work does not abandon this legacy. Instead, it draws upon it with reverence, while breathing into it the pulse of modern pop. The result is neither imitation nor departure, but transformation. A piece that allows history to live again in a language contemporary ears can feel. The fusion of tradition and modernity is what gives the song its universal resonance. Classic motifs of sacrifice and endurance are set against melodies and production styles familiar to today's global youth. For an older listener, the song reawakens a sense of recognition, as if the voices of the past are resurfacing with renewed clarity. For the young, the polished pop arrangement feels accessible, allowing them to engage with history not as something remote in textbooks, but as something alive, beating within their playlists. In this meeting of old and new, the song turns remembrance into participation, giving every listener a role in carrying memory forward. The genius of this blending lies in its emotional honesty. It does not reduce history to nostalgia, nor does it trivialize sacrifice with trend-driven sound. Instead, it respects both the depth of heritage and the vitality of modern culture. Through this balance, Remember This Moment proves that music can be timeless when it dares to stand at the intersection of tradition and spirit, past and present, memory and youth. Wong Eba has long been known as one of the brightest figures in contemporary Asian entertainment, a performer whose versatility spans singing, dancing, acting, and even competitive sports. Yet with the release of Remember This Moment, audiences are invited to see him through a different lens, not only as an idol, but as a young man stepping into the role of cultural messenger. His decision to lend his voice to a project commemorating the 80th anniversary of a historic victory speaks volumes about his awareness of responsibility. In an industry often dominated by glamour and fleeting trends, Eba shows that fame can be used to honor history, to give weight to memory, and to connect generations through song. What makes his contribution striking is the sincerity with which he performs. He does not sing as if delivering a performance for applause, but as though he carries with him the voices of those who came before. His tone is respectful, his phrasing deliberate, each note heavy with meaning. In this way, Eba transcends the role of entertainer and becomes a vessel for remembrance. Fans across the world hear not only a pop star but a young artist who understands that music has the power to safeguard history. His past projects, whether in film or public service, hinted at this depth of character, but this song crystallizes it. By embodying the narrative of sacrifice and resilience, Eba redefines what it means to be a celebrity in today's world. He reminds us that art is not just about visibility but about responsibility, and that the stage can be more than a platform for fame. It can be a bridge between past and present, between individual expression and collective memory. In Remember This Moment, Wong Eba reveals himself as the guardian of both song and spirit. When Remember This Moment was released, the response did not remain confined within China's borders. Instead, it traveled quickly across languages, cultures, and generations, igniting conversations in communities from Asia to Europe and North America. In the United States, listeners spoke of how rare it is for a pop song to intertwine contemporary sound with the weight of history, describing it as both moving and unusual in the landscape of mainstream music. For audiences in Korea and Japan, the song's themes carried an even more layered resonance, as it evoked memories of a shared and difficult past, while also opening the possibility of mutual reflection through music. In Europe, where war memorials line many cities, the track was seen as a universal call for peace, a reminder that history is not owned by one nation alone, but belongs to humanity as collective memory. What makes these global reactions so compelling is not simply the praise for Eba's artistry, but the recognition of music as a bridge. Fans across social media platforms have written about how the song gave them goosebumps, how it reminded them of their own grandparents' stories of hardship, or how it made them pause in gratitude for the peace they live in today. In Indonesia, the Philippines, and Thailand, younger listeners shared clips of themselves singing along, saying the message felt personal even across cultural distances. In France and Canada, critics observed that the song demonstrates how popular culture can take on the role of cultural diplomacy, quietly strengthening understanding among nations through shared emotion. The world is listening because the song speaks in a language deeper than words. It calls to memory, to sacrifice, to pride, and to hope. In every corner where it is heard, "Remember this moment" reminds people that history is not only behind us. It is alive within us, waiting to be honored. Educational value. Schools in Asia have already discussed using the song as a teaching tool to inspire students about history. Youth movement. Social media challenges are starting to appear, fans recording themselves singing the chorus, tagging it with hashtag Remember This Moment. Cultural diplomacy. Some critics even call it a form of soft power, showing how a pop star can strengthen national pride while opening doors for global dialogue. Remember This Moment is more than a song. It is a bridge between past and present, between tradition and youth, between one nation's memory and the world's collective hope for peace. And Wong Eba, with his voice, has made history sing again. If this story moved you, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button to join our Starwatch Now family. We'll continue bringing you the most inspiring stories behind Asia's brightest stars. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, and remember, every moment counts. Goodbye for now.